Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in their voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken the Morning. It's a Tuesday. Man, the week goes by quick, and waiting for Joe to pop in here. Good morning, Fred. How are you doing this morning? I'm also sharing this out to a couple places. We seem to be without a Ken, and Joe is having issues. I'll wait for him to come back. There he is. There's Joe. Morning, Joe.
What's going on, dude?
You know, it was another wonderful day of listening to Troy and Buck.
Yeah. I'm
Tell
not
me
a fan of those guys.
I mean, I couldn't believe I saw the post where it's like, they've been doing this 22 years. I'm like, as a team, I'm like, and they still suck this bad?
Has it really been that long?
That's what they claim. I'm like, really? Because they are terrible.
Yeah.
I am not their biggest fans.
Me neither.
But what'd you think of the game last night?
I didn't even watch it, to be honest with you. It's wasn't it the Titans?
No, it was the Chiefs and
no, it was the Chiefs and the Commanders. That's right. Yeah. No, I figured that game was going to be a blowout. So no, I didn't watch it.
A blowout, but yeah, it was. And then, well, I guess it kind of ended up being a blowout. So yeah, it was a blowout.
And let me guess, the Chiefs had like one penalty the whole game.
No, actually, Mahomes got flagged for an intentional grounding. That's how the first half ended.
Oh, wow. Well,
yeah. I know reps are getting fired today over that, probably.
Yeah.
I was not happy with it could have been a good Monday Night Football game. It just wasn't. And then of course, then you have to listen to Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. You're like, oh, do I really want to listen to this? So I didn't spend much time with it. And then the other thing is, we've got the trade deadline today, and I haven't seen much movement of you.
I know the Raiders signed Lockett.
Yeah, I'm double checking. Ayuk is not
practicing. The Raiders signed Tyler Lockett yesterday.
Patrick Surtain's going to be out for a bit. Okay, here we go. Rams acquired Roger McCreary from the Titans. So that happened late last night.
Yeah, and that's a weird trade too, because it's like a conditional fifth for the trade compensation in that trade is weird.
Ooh, Carson Wentz is undergoing season-ending shoulder surgery. That was announced late last night. Colts, Lions seeing cornerback help. Half the league is looking for cornerback help. So yeah, I haven't seen anything really. There's nothing out there. That Carson Wentz thing, like, Here we go. The Steelers are signing MVS. Go figure. MVS has found a home with Aaron Rodgers again. Yeah, there's not much going on for this trade deadline, man.
Yeah, and we're only a few hours away.
Yeah, was it 4 p.m. Eastern?
So you would think that at least like one trade would have broken, right? You think that like at least one thing would have happened.
Well,
like one big trade, I mean.
But here's the question though, like who's really selling? You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know. We've talked about it, you know, who we think could be selling, but apparently nobody's selling.
I mean, we know the Titans are, but then again, like, what are the Titans? We assume the Titans are because they've made a couple smaller moves, but then it comes down
the Titans are selling scrubs. Like they already said that they're not trading. The two players that they won't trade is Simmons and Cam Ward. And those are the only players they really have of any kind of like real value. Right?
Yeah, so that's the problem. It's like, okay, yeah, we might be selling some stuff, but it's kind of like having that yard sale with a bunch of junk out front. That sits there all day, and everyone just keeps looking at it, going, "Yeah, that's okay. You can go ahead and just get the Goodwill truck backed up for that." You know what I mean?
It's like a lawnmower that doesn't work, and like some old kids' clothes that got holes in them, and you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, yeah, they're not giving away anything that's worthwhile. So
no,
I don't know.
So I
am surprised that Jacoby Myers hasn't been traded yet.
Actually, yeah, the Raiders. I'm surprised that they haven't been buying or selling. God, those phone lines got to be ringing off the hook. These GMs probably have 3 or 4 phones like going with their staffs.
Did buy yesterday. Like I said, they signed Tyler Lockett.
Well, that's not really a buying. That's just a free agency acquisition.
Yeah, but I mean, they're adding to their team shortly before the trade deadline. But I heard a rumor that the Raiders might not actually move Jacoby Myers. That they're actually there's been some progress on contract talks, and they might actually end up re-signing him. I don't know if it's how I don't. I'm not going to vouch for the veracity of it. It's just a rumor. But I think if the Raiders don't end up trading him at the deadline, then obviously the rumor takes on a little more
meaning,
a little more steam,
And good morning, Mitch. Good morning, Snoop. Yeah, I mean, Well, and then you've got a team like the Minnesota Vikings. Like, who's their fucking quarterback?
JJ McCarthy.
He's hurt.
Well, so is Carson Wentz now.
No, Wentz is having season-ending
that's why I said. So is Wentz now. Wentz is hurt now too. Yeah. So, I don't know who's your quarterback.
Are they selling?
No. I don't believe so.
Selling? Should they be selling?
I think what we think and what they think are two different things. I think they think if they had their quarterback situation, if JJ McCarthy wasn't hurt, that they'd be in a much better position than they are now. I think that's what they think.
Morning, Paul. All right, Ryan says JJ is starting against Detroit this week. So I guess he's back. We'll see how many weeks he lasts. If they lose this week, they might consider selling some. If they got some of these guys who they might not read, because if your team, like even the Bears, to be honest with you, if let's say the Bears had lost in Washington, right, So instead of 4-3, we're 3-4. I would consider selling off pieces that I'm not re-signing for next year.
Maybe Cole Kmet.
Oh yeah, like Cole Kmet is a possibility, even though he's still under contract but next year. But yeah, exactly. A guy like him, if I'm in a losing record and I'm thinking I might move on because of his cap situation, I might sell him.
Yeah, and you have a suitable replacement on your roster already.
Right.
Even though he's a rookie.
Right. And the problem is both Kmet and Colson Loveland have had some injury time.
And they don't really get thrown the ball that much.
Yeah. No, which Johnson are you meaning, Snoop? Because we got two. Not. Yeah. We got the one we signed and the one that we signed long term. But yeah, we've got a couple of 1-year guys, that we might look at getting rid of. But then who's gonna, it's like Kmet, sure. I don't think he's talked. Oh, Roshan Johnson, yeah. Rojo, definitely. The Bears could trade him today, anyways. To be honest with you, so the Bears could trade Roshan Johnson, and that doesn't mean they're selling, but that might be looking to use him to maybe get a better corner from a team that maybe has one but isn't quite really willing to give him up. I don't know. For child abuse on McCarthy. Lions fans already feeling themselves today.
Yeah. Damn, Wentz played 3 weeks with a broken shoulder. One team that, a lot of people, I thought, remember I said I don't think they're going to be sellers, was the Jets, right? But a lot of people thought that the Jets should be sellers. But I find it interesting that they won their first game and you don't hear anything out of the Jets. Like, I don't know. It's like, are they thinking like, hey, we're going to turn this ship around now? Or, like.
I am not surprised by the Jets, to be honest with you, because if you look at the pieces they do have that they would sell, hold on a second.
Well, because we've been hearing that Breece Hall has been on the trading block for weeks now.
Yeah, but they're not going to trade those big. Breece Hall might have been a consideration, but you know what though, I don't think they're going to sign these young pillars. Fred, the intro has been changed like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I never claimed to be a professional.
Yeah. I'm a retired guy. That doesn't mean I'm professional. I was a professional soldier, not a professional podcaster. I don't get paid for this. Joe, are you getting paid for this?
No.
No, yeah. Joe and I don't get paid. In fact, we spend money to do this. So, speaking of which, go check out the Rumble.
We do it for the fans.
Yeah, do it for the love of the game because we enjoy football, except for those days when we hate football. That's like Seth Rollins. I'm gonna start doing the Seth Rollins thing. See, Fred doesn't even pay attention to us, man. He's just now figuring out that the intro was changed 6 months ago.
Yeah, dude. But the Jets have been. Well, the rumor has been that Breece Hall has been on the chopping block for like 4 weeks now. And here we are at the trade deadline. And, Breece Hall has to hear that. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna push back on Paul's argument here. Just to be teaming on 500 if they had a decent quarterback. It's not always the quarterback, man. I mean, and that's why I'm pushing back. I'm not saying Justin Fields is good or anything, so don't get me wrong there. But I hate how we're always just saying, if the team only had a good quarterback. Okay. First off, let's dissect it. If the team needs to be good too, not just the quarterback.
Yeah.
The Jets have a terrible offensive line.
He injured pieces on defense.
Yeah, I mean, so look at their offense has been so bad that Justin Fields, who is a phenomenal runner, can't even run the ball. So, and they've lost some early on in the season when they were healthy. They lost some nail biters. They lost some heartbreaking nail biters. So the Jets weren't really that bad. They were actually a lot better, I think, than they were the year prior. They lost some nail biters early on, and then they started getting some key injuries, and their offensive line just really shown that they are crap. I don't think it's a Justin Fields issue with the Jets.
No. I think they might want to evaluate their offensive coordinator's performance this year too. Like I know there's not, like, the offensive line hasn't given you much to work with, but I mean, I'm not saying fire the guy. I'm just saying you might want to like deep dive into his film, you know? That's all I'm saying is like maybe he's not doing you any favors either.
Yeah, but Paul, losing close games is not also necessarily on the quarterback. I mean, Josh Allen loses close games at Kansas City. And it's not because Josh Allen's not performing. It's because he gives his team the lead and then his defense gives it up and KC goes to a Super Bowl. Right? So losing close games, I mean, I understand why people say, oh, if they had a better quarterback, they wouldn't lose these close games. But, okay, what do you do when the quarterback gets you that go-ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Puts you in position for the go-ahead field goal. You kick the go-ahead field goal. And then your defense just gives it right back up. That's not on the quarterback. That's what I'm saying. People forget it's a team game. And I know it's easy to blame the quarterback for shit. Like, you know, I see it with Caleb. We see it with Fields right there. But who cares? Once again, I don't care if he has 80 yards of passing, as long as, like, I don't care if he has 80 yards of passing, but he had the lead with 5 minutes left to go in the fourth, and his defense gave it up. It doesn't matter they only had 80 yards of passing. It matters if the defense gave it up. I mean, Hurts, when they won the Super Bowl last year, had 120 yards of passing in the Super Bowl? That's it. Yeah. 120 yards. You know?
And you can't really blame Fields for 80 yards of passing if he's getting sacked 12 times. Like,
yeah.
You know, I mean,
there's more to it than blaming the quarterback. The quarterback's the easiest person for us to blame. Why? They're usually the highest paid. They are the focal point of the offense. I get it. But the quarterback can't do their job if wide receivers aren't getting open on routes, if the offensive line isn't blocking, if tight ends aren't doing their jobs or are incapable of getting open or hitting the blocks they're supposed to hit, if they're not hitting the holes, or if there are even holes for them to hit. There's a lot of things that go on there. But the quarterback is the easy person for us to blame. How many quarterbacks have been victimized by this and run out of town, only to go to the next town where they actually have a good offensive line or maybe some receivers or something they didn't have the last place. And all of a sudden they're good and teams going, what the hell, man? This guy sucked when he was with us. Now look at him. We see that with players all the time in this league.
Yeah. And I don't put the blame all on Justin Fields. Like, I don't look at Justin Fields as being like absolutely putrid as a quarterback. I just don't think he's capable of elevating a team. Like, he's not a guy that is going to make the team around him better. He's a guy that you got to have a good team around him and let him be comfortable and do what he does. That's how I see him, at least. Like, I think if Josh Allen was on the Jets right now, they would have more wins. I'm just saying, like, he elevates the team around him. I think they would have a few more wins. I don't think Justin Fields is that same kind of guy. I don't think he makes the guys around him better.
He elevates running backs. He helps them out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, receivers, he's got a good deep ball, but his short and intermediate kind of, okay. His reading defenses is kind of like, well, he's too quick to run the ball. That's always been his problem. Which is different from Caleb, who is always looking for the pass. And he does create offense, Caleb does. He creates opportunities. Whether or not they can capitalize on them is another thing. And that's what I love, too. Like, there's one game from the Bears game this weekend. Caleb rolls out, gets pressured, rolls out to the right, throws the ball down the sideline that basically only Rome Odunze has an opportunity to catch. It hits Rome in the forearms, kind of. So in the area, Rome could, Rome had a possibility of making a play on it. Rome doesn't make the play. And what comes out of that is Rome Odunze drops too many. Caleb Williams sucks as a quarterback. Really. It's like, I don't get that analysis because, first off, he created a play where it was busted, right? Put the ball where only his guy could get it. His guy had an opportunity. It would have been a tough catch. It would have been a great play if he made it. Wasn't able to make the great play. Therefore, he's terrible too because he drops too much. when I heard Bears fans going off, and I'm like, where is your logic on that? That was a busted play, and Caleb put the ball where only his guy could, and his guy couldn't come up as he's going to the ground with a great catch. Sorry, he doesn't make a oh my god catch every time. Fans just
Nobody catches them all, man.
I mean,
everybody has drops.
Yeah, I mean, see, I think like that's kind of what Joe is saying in a nutshell. And I kind of agree with that too. He has his moments where he does, but he's not consistently that leader.
Yeah.
So I don't blame him for what the Jets. That's why the Jets are perplexing, because you would think they would. Okay, we got an edge. We signed to the practice squad. Oh, by the way, Booker's coming off the IR. I thought we had gone too far out of the 21-day window, but I guess not. Booker is coming off, so we're gonna get Booker back on the edge as well. So that might be a good thing for Chicago. So we got some. Yeah, we're seeing that's the only moves we're seeing right now, man. We're seeing guys being activated off the IR, guys, practice squad moves, but we're not seeing those trades.
Blockbuster trades.
Yeah.
And at this point, I don't know if you are. Like, I mean, we're only 4 or 5 hours, 4.5 hours from the deadline.
Yeah.
Unless they're waiting till unless they're waiting till noon, like 3 p.m. Eastern to drop the news.
Shamar Turner's out for the season in Chicago too, by the way. Dominique Robinson's going to miss a little bit of time. He's got the injury. There's nothing coming out right now. It's just like completely dead. You know what? Let me see if he's saying anything. So I haven't checked Shefty in a little bit here. Shefty seems to break pretty good on X. Let me check him out on X here. No, nothing. Everything he's posting is basically about last night's game. Patrick Surtain's going to miss a couple games for Denver. That hurts for them. But nothing. There's not even the quote unquote NFL insiders aren't saying anything right now. Everything he's got posted on his X's from last night's game and just that. Peyton's Place season 5 comes out November 2nd. Well, those are always fun. Last night's game and the Surtain injury. That's all he's really talking about. And then he posted an hour ago that Peyton Place's season 5 comes out November 2nd. Those are fun. I do like watching those shows. But nothing. Pulse has to activate Booker this morning. Otherwise, they activated him, Mike. They activated him yesterday. Yeah. So that was the 20. I thought the 21 day was Friday. I guess it was today. So that's cool. So Booker's coming back, and it kind of we had a player go down. So Shamar Turner is going to IR, so that made that easy. I thought trade deadline was November 4th. No, it was week 8. It's today, 4 p.m. today. Yeah, they had to activate him. Yeah. I mean, unless it changed, well, let me double check to make sure we had it correct. But I think everyone had it correct that this was the trade deadline. But I'm just surprised that we're not hearing anything at all. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, wait, it's a Tuesday after week 9. So he's correct. I thought it was a Tuesday after week 8. Why were we hearing a Tuesday after week 8? So that would make it the 4th. So yeah, he's correct. Good call.
Huh.
Good call.
Well, that's why we're not hearing anything. We have a whole another week.
Yeah, we have one more week, and because we had looked it up earlier, and they had the date being to today, so we must have missed a change somewhere. Good call, Michael. We've been operating on the assumption it was today, so it is next Tuesday.
One team that I think should look to be buyers is the Colts. Like they're on there. I mean, Well, I don't know. I'm not saying that they necessarily like need something, but I mean, you're on this fantastic run, right? Like you'd hate to waste it. Like if you have the opportunity to add an impact player somewhere for draft picks, like why not do it? Especially because you know that at the trade deadline people are generally cheaper. Like I don't know who's selling, right? That's the thing is like even the teams that should be selling don't seem like they want to be selling. But if you have a chance to add another impact player on that team, why not? Like, you know, you're leading the NFL right now, right?
So let's go over some possible sellers. The Dolphins at 2-6.
They should be sellers.
And they're probably gonna be 2-7 after Thursday.
They should be sellers.
I don't know. Like we already talked about the Jets. I don't think they're selling because they're in a different situation than the Dolphins are. The Steelers aren't selling. The Bengals aren't selling. God, you know what's sad? The Ravens at 2-5 aren't out of that division. I mean, the Steelers are 4-3. That division can still flip. The Browns are 2-6. They might sell. What about the Texans at 3-4?
The Texans, in my opinion, should be buying. They should be buying offensive linemen if they could. Because I don't think they're as bad of a team as their record shows. Like, it's just their offensive line is not very good. And, like, their defense is pretty good, you know? Right now, they're kind of like the Dalton line of NFL teams, you know? Like, if you beat them, then you're a legit team. But if you lose to them, it's like, eh.
Dude, the AFC West, 6-2, 5-3, 5-3. The Chiefs are in third place right now at 5-3. That's the AFC. And the NFC, the Giants and the Commanders and the Cowboys all have losing records. The Vikings are the only losing record in the North. In the South, the Saints obviously are 1-7. The Falcons are 3-4. Panthers are 4-4. They might be buying. And then the West, the Cardinals are 2-5. They might be selling. Everyone else is man, the West is 5-2, 5-2, 5-3, dude. I mean, the West and the North are the two divisions to be looking at. I wonder if the Cardinals are going to sell.
I don't know, but the NFC West has been a shocker to me. Like we all assumed that the Rams would be good, right? But like I thought the Seahawks and the Niners were going to fall off big time this year. And that hasn't been the case.
NOLA's been in games. They just haven't been able to do anything. As far as like going back to what Bear Down Mike is saying, Poles needs to be on the phone to get some CBs. I mean, yeah, but if there are no CBs to be had, I mean, this is the other thing, and this isn't an indictment of Mike, but it's an indictment of just overall fandoms, right? Well, our GM needs to go get X. Okay, a CB. Well, the Bears are looking for corners. The Packers are looking for corners. I think half the teams are looking for corners this year. But here's the problem. So in the free agent market, there aren't any good corners out there, or we would have already signed them, right? There aren't corners that are worth the money. If there aren't any corners to sale and Poles doesn't get a corner, don't blame Poles. If there's nothing, it's like saying, I want to buy a new car. You go to the new car dealership. You go to the car dealership, and they have no new cars, right? You go to a car dealership, there are no new cars. All they have is a 1973 Pinto, a 1986 Yugo, and like a DeLorean that's only got one tire. You're not buying any of those.
And they want
so
30,000
without a new car, and all of a sudden your wife's like, "You didn't come home with a new car." Well, that's because there weren't any that were better than that were any better than what I've got right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where we're sitting at, unfortunately. Yeah, we'll see how long last, Bill.
I'm personally not excited.
Well, so with Paul is saying the Niners should be sellers, but they keep winning like idiots, right? Because is that maybe some fool's gold out there in San Francisco then? Yeah, and Michael's correct. And I don't disagree with what Bear Down Mike is saying. Like, we need to be looking for cornerbacks. I mean, we're down. Our corners 1 through 4 are down. So yes, we need some cornerback help while we try to get healthy at corner. I know Bears fans want an edge rusher for some reason. I get it. We're getting pressure and not getting sacks. They want to see sacks because that's sex. Cool. But if, good thing we didn't do anything on Trey Hendrickson, right, Woody? Because he's been hurt the last 2 weeks. Like, we got a 31-year-old injured guy.
Yeah, he hurt his hip last week and he was out. So he's at that point that he should think about maybe retiring if these injuries are automatically coming up pretty quick as they are. But I'm just glad we didn't go after him. I mean, in the beginning, I was one of the ones in the beginning of the season saying, maybe we should go out and get him, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just glad that we didn't.
I was right there with you making the arguments as to how he could. Bradley Chubb for the Bears, if Chubb could stay healthy, that's another old guy.
And what are the Dolphins going to want for him? That's the thing.
Yeah.
And his contract is kind of big too.
If I want to go after a defensive end, which would be crazy because nobody thought because he was injury prone, I would go after Chase Young, but there's no way the Saints are going to get rid of him.
No, and that contract for next year becomes problematic. His contract is
Hell
problematic.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's the other piece people got to look at too when they don't. They're like, oh, but Chase Young's available. Yeah, but then you got to pay him like $20 million next year and $23 million the year after. You got to look at the contracts that come with these players. And
yeah. Just like Kamara too, his contract. Everybody wanted him running back and stuff like that. It might be $8 million this year, but it's going to be $18 million next year. So you're in cap hell, money hell for next year already. So nah.
See, I agree that the Niners should have been sellers, but the Niners should have been sellers last year, like in the offseason. I said that from the beginning, that they should have started their rebuild last year. Now they're injured, like really injured, but they're still winning games. So I don't think they're going to be sellers. Like they're going to ride it out. But I think they should have been sellers in the offseason. They could have unloaded a lot of those star players for picks, and they could have rebuilt their whole team. They could have been halfway into their first season of rebuild right now.
They need a receiver. They need a receiver, though.
I love Bear Down Mike because he comes up with some stuff, man. So you can't see it, Woody. Let me tell you what Mike is saying. Dennis Allen had that relationship with Nola. Okay, we know that. Poles can make a trade for a corner. I want to know which corner, and give up a 6th-round pick. Most of the guys have played for DA and can be ready to play. Okay, cool. But I'm not just taking any corner. You know what I'm saying? I guess what I'm saying is we're not making a trade just to make a trade. Like, is the corner actually going to be worth our while? Right? And
well, it depends on, how long Stevenson's out. Gordon's on the IR. I mean, and I don't know if there's any good, cornerbacks out there for us to pick up and stuff like that. I'd say we just ride it out or see what the other teams do.
I mean, let me pull up some of their corners and see what we got here real quick.
I mean, I wasn't sold on Deshaun Wright, but he's been playing great the last couple of weeks. He's proven me wrong. He's proven me wrong. I'm telling you, Kenny, you won't like this. But Deshaun's proven me wrong more than Caleb is. Do you get that?
No, I'm tracking. You have to tell us which one you want there, Mike, from Nola. I mean, it's once again, is a guy going to be value added, not just now in this injury time, but you got to think more than just the Band-Aid. Or, for a 6th-rounder, maybe it's just a Band-Aid. Would you be – I guess I'd be fine with giving up a 6th-rounder just for a Band-Aid for a couple of weeks. I mean, and maybe they do like Deshaun Wright, and all of a sudden they play a lot better here than they did there. I mean, there's that. So, I'm sure Poles is looking that way. I know the Bears are going to look at Nola because of Allen's past, and he knows those players best. And that's usually what happens, right? An offensive or defensive coordinator who is a head coach of another team usually pulls guys from that old team. We saw that in Dallas, right? Eberflus went there, right? And look what he do. He pulled the linebacker from the Bears, just like that in free agency. So, yeah, that kind of happens. Right? He's saying Alontae Taylor.
Oh yeah.
So
he played pretty good against us. I think he got knocked out for a concussion protocol, but he got one back in.
Yeah,
I saw a potential trade. Like I can't take credit for it. It was on that same show where that dude said that the Raiders should trade Bowers to the Giants for Theo Johnson and his second-round pick. But they suggested, that guy was nuts. But there was another guy on there who actually had a rational take. He suggested, and I know that this would hurt the Saints because he's one of the guys that doesn't have a crazy contract. But because he's one of the guys that doesn't have a crazy contract, he's one of the only guys you could actually move on from. They suggested trading Chris Olave to the Niners, and I think that actually makes sense. The Niners need a wide receiver. They'd be willing to give up the draft capital because they're winning right now. And you like Olave is going to be due his fifth-year option. Like the Saints aren't going to be able to pay that, so why not get something? You could probably get a decent pick in return for Olave. Like he's been productive.
They're already looking to right after that Bears game. They already came out. They're looking to extend him. So
yeah, he was linked to a lot of. He was linked to a lot of teams, not only the Niners. I heard a bunch. Yeah.
Alontae Taylor, this is the final year of his contract of his rookie deal. His valuation right now is actually better than his pay. His valuation is at 8.3. This year he has 24 solo tackles, 4 passes defended. He might be serviceable for the Bears. Might be worth I don't know what he's gonna be a guy that Nola. I don't know if they're going to be able to sign him next year. So that's actually might be a good one there for the Bears. That's a possibility. So Mike might have found a possibility. We'll see if he can do it. Let me get into some of these things here. Yeah, Washington's not giving up Lattimore, I don't think. Would you even want Lattimore? I don't know. Who at Lattimore?
He's too old and he's too well paid.
I mean, last game is not indicative of the Bears season. I mean, the cornerback play. Actually, what really affected the Bears. We can talk about injuries and all that, but there's one player in particular that affected the Bears by not being there, and that's Spidey.
Yep.
I mean, God, what a difference this defense is with him in versus him out. The 2 games he's in, the Bears are great on the run defense. They're much better on the pass rush. I mean, that we got more sacks with him. With him in. I mean, and now he's hurt again. I mean, that's the hard part. But you can see the difference. It's night and day. And day.
I actually agree with Bear Down Mike. I think Olave to the Bills would be a great trade. The only thing is if you're the Saints, like, do you think that like the Bills are probably going to be in the playoffs and be go deep in the playoffs? You would think, right? Like they're projected to be like an AFC championship kind of team. Whereas the Niners, they're winning games despite the fact that they're like most of their roster is injured right now. So you just wonder how long can they keep that up? And so if I'm the Saints, I'm looking at the potential of the pick. Like the Bills, I'm going to end up somewhere in the late 20s. Whereas with the Niners, I could end up like the Niners can make the playoffs and get bounced, or they could not make the playoffs because their luck finally runs out with all these injuries, and it ends up being a much better pick. So,
well, I think their luck ran out last week.
And that's if you're getting a first. Like, I don't even think you're going to get a first for Olave. Let's say you get like a second or a third, right? Like, because he's not under long-term contract, you're going to have to pay him. Like, still, I think you probably.
Yeah, I think the Niners are going to be buyers because I agree with you, Joe, because all the injuries they caught up to them last game. Getting beat by so I can see them making a move too for a receiver in this trade deadline coming up.
Yeah,
I mean,
but they might have some competition from the Bills. Like the Bills could definitely use a receiver like Olave too. My thing is, I think the Niners would give up more. Number one, because they feel like we're winning right now. Like let's get a guy while we can. But also, like if you're the Saints, I think it makes more sense to trade to the Niners because you're going to get a better pick.
Not to sidetrack, but I love these arguments. Well, the quarterback for this other team is playing, oh my God, compared to this guy here. Dude, every team's a different situation, man. I mean, God, these comparison arguments, they're fine and all, but they're also just kind of like, give it up. I mean, we see this with these young quarterbacks. I mean, and I'm not making an argument to defend Caleb, not defend Caleb. I'm just saying in general, we make these arguments on these young guys. Dude, look at the arguments for C.J. Stroud is so awesome. Now what is he? He's mid. He's not doing great. His team's not doing great. Let's talk about Washington with everyone's superhero, Jaden Daniels, who can't stay healthy. Like, give these guys 3 to 4 years. Usually 3 is probably a better, right? 3 years as a starter. And then we can start with these young quarterbacks, give them – because Drake May looks really good right now. He looked at it last year, looked okay. He looks really good with this team this year. Next year, he may look like complete dog shit. I mean, you can't judge these guys on a single season or, what they have right now. It's always, the grass is so much greener in this other yard. And then you get to the other yard and you find out it's infested with ants and termites and all kinds of crap. It's just like, come on. I mean,
but going back to what Joe was saying, and I know they won't give him up, but if I was Buffalo, to have a chance, I would go out and I could see AJ Brown on this team if the Eagles were willing to give him up. But I don't see it. I can just imagine AJ Brown on that team.
Oh.
And what I like about the Bills. I like was it Coleman? I love Coleman. I think he's a good receiver for them. Whether he's overproducing or not, I don't know. But his press conferences, of course, are legendary, right? AJ Brown. Do you think the Eagles, though, after they've just made a big focus to showcase him, do you think maybe they made the big focus to showcase him so they could trade him, or is he still a big piece of that Eagles team?
Well, he has to stay consistent every game. I mean, I think I don't know what he did against the Giants, but I know the week ago, him and Devonta Smith had great games. I think A.J. Brown had like 180 some yards, 9 catches. I don't think if they're going to make another Super Bowl run, which I hate to say because everybody knows how I like the Eagles, I would definitely keep him on this team because his presence too makes Devonta Smith look good, even though Devonta Smith goes long all the time mostly. With A.J. Brown's presence, even Dallas Goedert too, he's having a great year too for them. So I don't see them getting rid of anybody.
I mean, the Bills, maybe the Bills could be calling the Raiders up. Jacoby Myers might fit them.
Yeah, that's another one I heard.
I mean, it would add another quality receiver to their team, but not as a number one. Like if you're convinced that Coleman is your number one, then Jacoby could be a good number 2 for sure. But he wants a lot of money though. That's the problem is he's not under contract for next year. So you're basically getting a rental that you're going to have to re-sign, and he wants in the neighborhood of $30 million a year. Like that's what he's asking for, and he's not worth that.
We've seen that though. Where we think Buffalo is making a Super Bowl push, right? We've seen that in the past where guys sign a guy for that push, and then okay, thank you, you got the ring. I'm not giving you 30 mil. Go be a free agent.
Mhm.
See in hockey, right? Richards
Well-
goes to the Blackhawks in 2015, wins the Stanley Cup, and then leaves 2 days later as a free agent. And he was a trade deadline guy for the Blackhawks. So, I mean, we see that in sports all the time. I could see – so he could go there, get a ring with Buffalo maybe or not, and then walk as a free agent.
Mhm.
We see it, and that's why he's a rental.
I like Tucker too for you guys, Joe. So
Yeah,
what
it's
do you think about the Jacoby Myers? Do you think the Raiders are going to keep him? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, my opinion on it, like, doesn't really matter, like, because they're going to do what they're going to do. But I have heard rumors lately, like in the last day or two, that the Raiders are not actually looking to trade Jacoby at the deadline. That they're actually like have made some progress with a contract, and that they want to re-sign him. I'm okay with that as long as we don't pay him too much money. But like, to me, it sort of slows down the development of the younger guys, like, in a way, because Jacoby's going to get all these targets that, you drafted Jack Betch in the second round, and Jack, he hasn't really looked like anything special. But he hasn't played a whole lot either, because they always have Jacoby in the lineup. So it just, to me, it's like, what is your philosophy, right? Did you draft all these young guys so that you could play them their rookie year and get them the experience now so that they can take over next year? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the game plan here? Like, if you're going to re-sign Jacoby, okay, then why did you spend a second-round pick on a slot receiver to take Jacoby's place? Like, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Right.
So, like, now I'm not saying that Jack Betch is a better player than Jacoby. I'm not. Like I said, he hasn't shown me a whole lot, and he hasn't really played a whole lot, to be honest, which is not a good sign for your second-round pick. But it's like, so at that point, it's like, okay, you're gonna re-sign Jacoby. I'm fine with that as long as it's not too much money. But you're going to do with Jack Betch now, because he's going to be riding the bench, as a second-round pick. And then Thornton hasn't really, like, he started off the season really good, but now it's like they haven't been playing him as much. He dropped some balls, he's a rookie, and they haven't been playing him as much. So his development has not come along as far as I thought it would by this time of the year. Like, I thought Thornton was going to be really good, and I think he still has the potential to be. It's rare that a rookie wide receiver lights the league on fire, dude. Very rare, actually.
Here's a problem.
Unless you're Puka.
Well, yeah, Puka was. That's part of the problem, though, Woody, right? Because you get a guy like Puka, comes out of this great rookie season. Every team expects their rookie wide receiver to be Puka, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like, Packer fans like, Golden's the next Puka, and when he isn't, oh my God, we busted. Because a rookie has a good year, and rookies have always had good years, right? That's why there's always a rookie of the year. Oh my God, like, look at the rookie year that CJ had. Why isn't our rookie quarterback being? Because they're not the same. Everything's different. Right, situation, guy, coaching,
playbook.
Playbook. Yeah, I mean, the parity in this league is so close. That's why it's so hard with this trade deadline. Because even a team like Cleveland, who doesn't have a great record, dude, they're not really out of games. Like, every team's gonna get that one game they get blown out early. But even you look at the 2-score games; those are usually 2-score games, because in the fourth quarter, the defense runs out of gas, whatever. But they were competitive for 3/4 of it, and then they run out of gas. Okay, take those to the side. Then you get all these 1-score games, which are 70% of the games in the league. Even your terrible teams, like the Jets, were in a lot of games. So, like, they're this far, right? They're not far from going from losing to winning usually. And that's what makes, like it hard with this trade deadline because you look at the Browns. Man, just imagine the haul you could get for Myles Garrett. Yeah, but the problem is they're only a player or two away from turning that whole thing around. So why would you get rid of that piece? You know, it's like it's got to be guys that you aren't going to re-sign because they're going to cost too much next year, or they're just no longer a part of your plan. So, like for the Bears, for example, it might be like a Roschon Johnson might not be part of the Bears' plans going forward. He would be a guy that you would trade at the trade deadline. I don't think we have any free agents. You know, well, all our safeties are. But I think we're going to re-sign Brisker and Byard and Owens. They've been playing. It's a good group. They're gonna want to try to re-sign them. You know, maybe a guy like a Cole Kmet would be an example. This is the Bears had a losing record. Because, you know, if the Bears had a losing record, Cole Kmet's a $10 million cap hit next year. You got it. You just drafted a first rounder, tight end to be his replacement. You've got the replacement there. You know, a guy like him would be tradable. But you look at these other rosters, that's what we got to look at. And the problem for, like, say, the Bears specifically, or even the Packers, keeping it in the North, you're looking for cornerbacks. How many cornerbacks fit that bill in those kinds of teams?
Yeah. Well, Ken, I'll catch you tomorrow. Joe, it's good talking to you.
Yep.
And everybody have a good day. I got to go clock in.
All right, have a good one. Sell some cars, man.
All right, I'll try. See you. Thanks.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the hard part, right? Like right now, they're not moving Kmet, even if he was healthy, because we're 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
If we drop the 4-4, we're still in the hunt for the playoffs. They're not moving on from Kmet. And the only other Bear that really would have probably made sense cap wise to move on from for next year is Tremaine Edmonds, but he's been playing good ball. So these are going to be the tough decisions. We're going to see. Maybe we might start to see some stuff this week, but definitely by this time next week, you know, that's the problem. So if your team does not do what you want it to do in terms of being a buyer or a seller, and every year fans get upset, why didn't my GM do X? Because there wasn't anything of X wasn't available. Like right now, you've got a 2008 Honda Accord, and you wanted an upgrade from that. But the only thing available is a 73 Pinto, an 86 Yugo, and a Datsun truck. Which, by the way, you don't see Datsun trucks anymore. That's how old they are. So,
but those, dude, you could beat the shit out of those things, and they still keep kicking, bro. Datsun trucks are good trucks. Don't get it twisted. Yeah. Hey, I got one that you're not gonna like, Ken, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Like, so we've heard all this talk about Breece Hall being available, right? Like, let's just say, for the sake of argument, like, you guys like Monangai, but you know, he's going to be your second back. How would you feel about the Bears going and getting Breece Hall and moving on from DeAndre Swift? And the reason I say this is because I just feel like Breece Hall can do more. Like, Swift is not a bad running back, but I feel like that's a definite upgrade, in my opinion. So if he's on the trade block, like, would you be?
I'm not. I get what you're saying. Plus, he's younger, right? He's 24. This is a contract year for him, so he's gonna be a free agent, right? Breece Hall is. So his contract, his evaluation right now, his evaluation is probably low, 8.6. So if I look at that and I compare it to Swift, which his contract's 9.3, but we got him for another year. So like, but I mean, we could save if we cut him at the end of the year. He's under contract for 26 at $8.3 million is cap. If he's a post June 1st, we save like 7.5. So, okay. Yeah. From that aspect, now he's 26. It's only 2-year difference. And if I look at his valuations right at 8,
see, but I'm not talking about at the end of the season. I'm talking about trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, the both of them in the backfield, cool. But I mean, are you trading Swift to get him, or are you trading, let's say, a draft pick to get Brees
Well,
and having them both?
either way, like you could trade a draft pick to get Brees, which makes Swift expendable. So you could trade him away to somebody else for a draft pick. You'll eat a little bit of his contract for the season, but he's under contract for next season for another team who might be looking for a back. But you upgrade
I
at running
don't know
back,
if
and
that's-
the prices are similar. But Brees
I
Hall,
don't
in my
know.
opinion, Brees Hall can do more.
I mean, I'm not. I agree with Mike. I think Swift is doing fine. That touchdown run against Baltimore, everyone talked about his vision, his vision. His vision is the reason he got that touchdown, right? Because it was a run to the right, and he saw the right wasn't going to happen, and he switched it to the left and walked in for the touchdown, basically, right? But a Swift Hall combo, I think, would be interesting. Swift will be probably Swift Hall and the non-guy, that threesome, I like.
Mhm.
It would depend though, like what am I able? I want to see Hall. I'd want to see Hall and Swift together next year too. At that point, I don't know if I'm getting rid of Swift. To be honest with you, if I'm going to get rid of Swift this year, I definitely want to get something that I can use. So the problem is, what am I going to get? What can I use for Swift? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going to be available?
Well, what if you did like a straight swap with a pick, like to the Jets? Like, so let's say Swift you give up Swift, and
No,
let's
I
say
want
like
Swift.
a
I
fourth
want
round
Swift.
pick or a fifth
If I'm going
round
to do that,
pick.
I want, for me, see, but that's not like a plus for the Bears, I don't think. I don't think the Bears see that as a plus up. I think they would see that as lateral. Like, I don't want to have the two of them in the backfield together. I don't want to trade one for the other.
So you don't see Brees Hall as being an upgrade over Swift?
Not enough of an upgrade to do that. Not enough of an upgrade, no. To be honest with you. I mean, I get, he's 2 years younger, but I then have to go through the headache of signing him in the offseason when I don't have to go through any headaches with DeAndre Swift. He's signed.
Yeah. I mean, and like he's like Bear Down Mike just said, Hall for a fourth round pick, like that makes sense.
That makes sense. Like, I would do that. I think that makes sense. And then you deal with the headache in the offseason of, do I keep both? Can I keep both? Do I sign Hall and trade or cut Swift? That becomes an offseason issue. But I agree with Mike. I would do a fourth round pick, sure. I don't know if they're willing to give him up for only a fourth round pick, but sure. I mean, that would probably be worth it.
He's due a 5th-year option and or a contract. So
No, Brees Hall it doesn't have. I mean, this is it. It's contract year. They missed that opportunity. And Brees Hall, he wasn't a first rounder. Where is it? The Brees Hall contract. Brees Hall was a second round pick, so there's no 5th round option. You're muted. So that'd be interesting if that's why he's muted, and I can let me wrap it up, I guess, on that last terrible take by me. Today's Tuesday, so don't forget Driving to the Top Productions. I'll be on their show tonight. You can catch that on X or on Rumble at Ken the Bear Fan. We'll be back here tomorrow morning with myself, Joe, hopefully Ken. And then tomorrow, don't forget, we got MM Maniacs. That'll be on the X and the Rumble, as well as all the other Huddle Network pages. Some interesting moves might be getting made. We'll be seeing as we get into week 9 here in the trade deadline. After the correction that it's next Tuesday, not this Tuesday. We're human. What can we say? Everyone enjoy your Tuesday. Tomorrow it's already going to be a hump day. It's moving quick. We'll see you tomorrow. So for Joe and myself, thank you, everyone. Have a great day.